Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be looking at... Oh, fuck. So, yeah. Where the hell does fuck come from? Today's video is looking at swear words, and so there'll be swear words in the rest of the video that won't be bleeped out. Unless they're being used fucking gratuitously, of course. Context, as ever, matters. If you were around in England in 1286 AD, you might have bumped into Henry Fuckbeggar, and you might have laughed, but no one around you would. And that's because in 1286, fuck was not yet a taboo word. In fact, it didn't even have any of the sexual connotations it does today. To fuck in 1286 meant to hit, which, when you think about it, isn't that much better for Henry Fuckbeggar, because that makes him the man who goes around hitting homeless people. On the upside, kestrels were called wind fuckers. Yeah, fuck that wind. Tracing how fuck got from there to its present and notorious state is actually quite difficult, because for some reason people didn't like writing down swear words in official historical documents. You don't find many motherfuckers in the Declaration of Independence. I suspect they didn't survive the edit. There are a couple of go-to historical sources though: ancient graffiti, criminal court records, and dictionaries. Well, not all dictionaries. It's hard to find anything more outre than penis. The first comprehensive English dictionary was compiled by Samuel Johnson in 1755, but he didn't include swear words, reasoning that the slang was a corrupt dialect that ought to perish. So it was up to innovator Francis Grose to pick up the slack with his classical dictionary of the vulgar tongue, published 30 years later. For research, he would go to brothels and gambling dens, but also bookstores and dockyards to catch the swear words flying from the mouths of every class. Oddly, he was actually still sensitive to the offensive nature of these words, and actually asterisked fuck in his definition. The book's a great read, so if you want to know the definition of fartleberries or can stomach reading what a scurvy wench is, I would suggest a quick Google. But hang on, we're getting ahead of ourselves. What the fuck is a swear word anyway? A US Supreme Court case in 1964 highlights what a tricky problem defining offensiveness is. Justice Potter Stewart was asked to describe the threshold for hardcore pornography when he famously replied, "I know it when I see it." I do think there's something to this, and I think this reaction can be applied to swear words too. Any one of us can arrange feces, poo and shit on a sliding scale of offensiveness. It just feels right. But if we want a more technical definition that we can work with, we should look to Anderson and Trudgill. For them, swear words refer to something taboo or stigmatised in the swearer's culture. They're not intended to be interpreted literally, and they can be used to express strong emotions or attitudes. Things that are commonly taboo across many cultures include references to sex and genitals and bodily fluids, and consequently there are many swear words associated with these. Sometimes though, you get interesting examples of swear words from particular cultures at particular times. An old Slavic word for bear, for instance, was taboo in the Bronze Age, a sign of the fear of this real danger at the time. So instead, they would refer to bears with euphemisms like the honey eater, and the chubby fleshy one, and he who must not be named. Okay, not that last one. And while swear words have connotations with stigmatised things, they don't always mean them literally. What does it mean to say, "shut the fucking door"? We know that fuck connotes sex, but it does not denote it in this usage. Fucking here couldn't be described as an adjective in the normal sense. For instance, imagine the sentence, "shut the brown door." This can be sensibly arranged to "shut the door which is brown." However, "shut the fucking door" becomes "shut the door which is fucking." We were never implying that the door was having sex with other doors. Swear words, especially fuck, are known to perform all sorts of lexical gymnastics to fit in every which way. What we were doing was adding a little more pizzazz to the imperative "shut the door." Saying "shut the fucking door" communicates something more, something emotional from the swearer. And here we get to the heart of what makes swear words unique. Swear words, in certain contexts, while devoid of meaning, become vessels for pure emotion, making the inexpressible expressible. But let's ask the title of this video again, literally. Where does fuck come from? Our brains. Here's language. It lives here in the left-hand side of the brain. They've got a few roommates, like recalling facts and how to split the bill in a restaurant. And so you might expect fuck to live here too. Actually, if you lop off this left lobe, something unexpected happens, as American neurologist Norman Geschwind observed in the 1960s. A patient was brought to him because they could no longer speak or understand sentences. They couldn't name objects they saw in images, and couldn't even parrot back words with more than one syllable. What they could do, however, is swear. Over the course of a 5-minute interview, they said nothing but "God damn it" 7 times and the words "shit" and "God" one apiece. What had caused these unfortunate symptoms? The patient had had his left hemisphere surgically removed to combat a cancer. The almost complete loss of language skills is medically known as aphasia and has always been linked to the retained ability of swearing. This, you may be able to deduce from the example, is because swear words are fundamentally different at a neurological level. Those left with only the right hemisphere can find their linguistic abilities constrained to lexical automatisms, which are memorised formulas that allow for the quick regurgitation of song lyrics and prayers, and yes, swear words. Now I've got a test for you which will show how your own brain processes swear words differently. It's a variation of the Stroop test which you've probably seen before. There's a word on the screen and it's written in a colour. You need to say the name of the colour, not read the word. So this would be red and this would be green. Got it? Okay, let's go. All done? Great. Psychologist Don McKay performed a few similar experiments in 2004 and found that response times for swear words were indeed longer than neutral words. This test highlights the ability of swear words to kidnap our attention involuntarily. As the old saying goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will have a quantifiable psychobiological effect on me. In the 16th century, one anonymous monk provides a brilliant example of marginalia, using a Latin manuscript to take a side swipe at his superior abbot. Quite unexpectedly for a monk, he scrawled, "D fucking abbot." What's interesting though about this cursing Christian is that he's quite content to drop the F-bomb on this manuscript, but the word damned has been truncated to a D. This shows that for our monk, blaspheming against God was a stronger taboo than mentioning sexual intercourse. And one might expect this for a time that was dominated by a religion that commanded you not to take the Lord's name in vain. Of course today, that power balance has shifted, as G.K. Chesterton wittily surmised. Blasphemy itself could not survive religion. If anyone doubts that, let him try to blaspheme Odin. But that's not to say all that blasphemous swearing hasn't left some boots to fill. It's just that people didn't get that creative. When we look at sweary phrases today, there doesn't seem any apparent grammatical reason to structure them in this way. Fuck you was such a mystery that an explanation was only first posited in 1971. What had happened was people just took existing blasphemous phrases and swapped out the godly bits that had lost their bite for new exciting expletives. So fuck you used to be God damn you. Holy Mary became holy shit. For Christ's sake became for fuck's sake. And who in the hell are you became who the fuck are you. But this still leaves us asking, what is the mechanism that allows swear words to gain notoriety? Enter philosopher Rebecca Roache. In an essay entitled "Where Does Swearing Get Its Power?", she outlines a theory called offence escalation. Imagine I meet someone new and introduce myself. Then during the conversation they call me Jason. So I gently remind them my name's Tom. Maybe they misheard or forgot. After a few more minutes, they call me Jason again. I again politely correct them to Tom and even point out that I'm wearing a name badge. At this point, if they continue calling me Jason, I will come to the conclusion that they are doing it deliberately to upset me. I began by assuming they meant no harm, but now I view their attitude as hostile. There is nothing inherently offensive about Jason, but from the context, it has escalated to be offensive. It is when we extrapolate this situation to a whole culture that we see how swear words form. If certain words for bodily fluids are disliked within a community of speakers, anyone from that community knows that using such a word will likely cause discomfort in the listener. As Roache sums up, swearing, then, is as offensive as it is not because of some magic ingredient possessed by swear words but lacked by other words, but because when we swear, our audience knows that we do so in the knowledge that they will find it offensive. Of course, such a relationship between speaker and listener is very changeable, even within one culture. While it might be unacceptable to swear live on telly, hanging out with your mates down the bar, you know it's fine. More than that, we know it helps you communicate. So, while we must be mindful of the situation and respectful of our interlocutor, swear words nevertheless provide an indispensable resource in telling others how we really feel, when normal words aren't enough. Thank fuck for that. Hi, thanks for watching. That was Where the Hell Does Fuck Come From? Is that more swearing than I normally do? Sorry there hasn't been a video in a while, you know how life is. It just happens, right? Other things I have been doing is helping out with another YouTube channel called Rock and Rose. You definitely go and check out their first video about women in medicine throughout time. Lots of interesting, cool stories that I didn't know before. And if you keep a keen eye out, you might notice something. We filmed the video in this room. I'm still making more videos, so stay subscribed and then you'll know when the next one comes out. Cheers.